Guys, welcome back to the Prehistoric Life podcast. I'm your host, Eric Crawford, and today we're going to jump right into it with the augustynolophus. Augustynolophus. Since it's Hadrosaur month, we're going over hadrosaurs. This is the augustynolophus. As you can see, it's got the big old hadrosaur body with the big old back legs and the kind of small front legs with the big old long tail. And it's got a slight crest on the top of its head with the duckbill kind of look, as you can tell. So, there you go. You get to look at the augustynolophus. I'm just trying to pronounce it, man. Men and women. And yeah, augustynolophus. I looked up the pronunciation. It's saying AW-GUS-TIN-O-LO-FUS. So, augustynolophus for anybody who's trying to pronounce it with me. And as you can see, looking in at its head, it's got that like slight crest right there. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. Maybe this will help. It's got the tiny little crest with the duckbill. It's got bumps down its back. It's got the big old hadrosaur body with the big old thick legs and the tinier front legs. And then it's got the longer tail for body support. So let's get into some measurements of the augustynolophus. Well, it gets about maybe 10 feet tall, weighs about 3 tons, and about 33-ish feet long. Its diet is leaves, bushes, ferns, berries. Its fossils were found in California. It's a medium herbivore. It lived in herds of like 7 to 14. It lived in swamps, plains, and by rivers, forests, jungles. It ran on 2 legs, but walked on 4. It had a small crest to be vocal, to possibly warn the herd, or to try to ward off danger. I mean, it would probably honk at predators. It was named by William Morris in 1939. Yep. So, I mean, very difficult name to say. Don't know why they gave these things such crazy names to say. I prefer not to have to try to sit here for 5 minutes before recording trying to figure it out, but hey, it's also like half the dinosaur. So I mean it gives it's like I don't want to say spirituality because that doesn't really make sense, but like its own idea, its own personality. Oh gosh, man, I can't even. augustynolophus Morrissey was a herbivorous dinosaur, which had a diet consisting of plant life in the era. It was specialized to chew in food since hadrosaurs were one of the few known species of dinosaurs that chewed food. So, I mean, these guys were found all over the place from. Actually, now that I'm looking at this, it says Appalachia, the land fauna of western Laramida to California to even Hell Creek, the Hell Creek Formation, and Two Medicine Formation. However, despite the fact that dinosaur fossils are rare in California, the Merno Formation is one of the more well-studied Mesozoic geological formations in California, and like Appalachia, it is more well known for the large amount of marine fossils. Augustinophal, augustynolophus shared its environment with a wild variety of marine creatures, which consisted of the non-marine turtles, mosasaurs, plesiosaur, and ray-finned fish. The turtles that lived in the region included Basilius and Osteopygus. Mosasaurs were very common in the region, and 4 species have been unearthed from this fossil formation. They include Prognathodon, Haliosaurs, Plesiotylosaurs, and Plotosaurus. Plesiosaurs that inhabited the Moreno Formation consisted of 4 genera: Ferninosaurs, Morenosaurs, Afrosaurs, and Hydrothurosaurs. Bonner-Scythius and Saurodon were the only ray fish found here. So, oddly enough, in California, millions of years ago, it was under the water, as it's saying here, since there are mosasaurs, turtles, and plesiosaurs and ray fish. So, Augustinophus, this hadrosaur shared its habitat with a bunch of other non-dinosaurs, actually. All known specimens of Augustinophalophus, this hadrosaur, I'm going to start referring to it as, have been found only in California, which was part of the Laramidia among best locations for dinosaur fossils. There are currently 2 known species of Augustinolophus. The holotype LACM/CIT 2852 was unearthed in 1943. It consisted of the majority of the skull, including the dentary and predatory vertebrate and bones on the limb and hand. The second specimen was designated LACM/CIT 2760. Discovered in 1939, it was made up of elements of skull and limbs due to the small size. It may have been a juvenile. It is one of 3 named dinosaurs from the western coast of the United States. The other 2 begin the Campion Altopeda Compsey and the seabird Ichthyornis. Additionally, there are a number of fragment remains which have been found of dinosaurs in all of the western coastal states, California, Oregon, and Washington, in addition to Tyrannosaurus from Sukia Island in Washington. Fragmentary remains of indeterminated hadrosaurs and ornithopods have been found throughout California as far back as 1930s, and more recently Oregon as well. So also in September 2017, Augustynolophus was declared the official state dinosaur of California. For those of you who are curious and live in California. So there's just like a bunch of information about it. I just Wikipedia'd it, honestly, if y'all are curious about what I'm reading off. So most of the western coastal states were under the water in ancient times, is what I'm reading. So finding land dinosaurs like hadrosaurs and tyrannosaurs and things like that was very uncommon, but is still a thing that happened. So I'm thinking there was something about these dinosaurs living on the coast and maybe the ocean dragging them out whenever they died, which is a very real possibility that is something that happened. I sadly do not have something indicating what this thing sounded like. Don't have a video of what it sounded like. I couldn't find one. So probably something similar to a Parasaurolophus or probably an Edmontosaur. So yeah. I mean, this thing is pretty crazy that it was found like next to like mosasaurs and things in California. And you know what? I mean, these things they're big herbivores. They're big old sauropods. Or why am I saying sauropods? They're big old hadrosaurs that lived in California, even though California was under the ocean or in the ocean somehow. So I'm going to play this thing.
augustynolophus.
Augustynolophus. There we go. Finally got it. Augustynolophus. That sounds way easier.
augustynolophus.
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 Augustynolophus. Very easy. A lot easier than whatever I was trying to pronounce. So, this thing probably lived on the coast or some kind of coastal swamp kind of thing, maybe. Or maybe they traveled along the coast to get from point A to point B because there tends to be, well, less stuff in the way on the coast. It tends to just be beach. So maybe a couple of these things died on the coast and were washed out into the ocean. And I guess over time the ocean levels rise, and so did these things, and now they're not in the ocean anymore. They're on land and under the rock on the earth. So I mean, it could all just be time, geological plates and movements and things like that. So I mean, that's probably why they're found not in the ocean, and why they're also the state dinosaur of California. So this has been augustynolophus. Let's play that one more time.
augustynolophus.
Augustynolophus. This has been the episode on augustynolophus, the state dinosaur of California, for all you Californian listeners. So, yeah, remember to follow on YouTube. Hang on. And Instagram. Last episode was Fossil Fiends with Jason, so please go check out his content too. Amazing guy. Love talking to him. I mean, a lot of great content. So please go check him out while you're down there. And sorry, I'm having trouble pulling up the website right now. It's just deciding not to load. There we go. And go check out the website while you're at it. Please, there was a lot of work put into it, so go check it out. We've got a lot of great, it's just the source of all the content, so just go check that out first, and you can go get from anywhere from there. But this has been augustynolophus. I'm your host, Eric Crawford, and I will see you all next time on Prehistoric Life Podcast. That's one last look at the augustynolophus. And I'm your host, Eric Crawford, signing off. I will see you all next time. Goodbye, and keep it prehistoric.